Hi guys, welcome back to the Teaching and Learning. This is Abdul Ghafoor. I hope you are doing well. As I said in my previous lesson that we will be providing continuous support in the subject specialization. So yes, my last comment in the community box was regarding the computer specialization for today. As I said, we'll be providing the great support from the various subject specialists. So today we have, subject specialist, PhD, the holder and IT specialist scholar, Mr. Zafar Ali. And he's working in one of the renowned schools in UAE. So thank you, Mr. Zafar, being with us, and thank you for your time. And I'm sure you'll be providing continuous support to the UAE teachers in getting this computer subject specialization license that they can maintain and sustain their job. Thank you so much. Appreciate with us.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for hosting me in the show. It's a great honor for me to have you in this show, in your show as well. Yes, as we have discussed earlier, so we are going to discuss about the computer systems, which is the first topic of in the teacher licensing in the computer systems.
Great, thank you. So let me share the screen first, teachers, that okay, what exactly we are going to discuss and what topic and what content we are going to stay within. So Mr. Zafar will be providing the assistance in order to understand that how you're gonna, when you attempt these questions from this domain, what exactly you have to focus and what areas you need to be more attentional. We'll be providing you some important questions, okay, but later. But firstly, we are going to highlight the important things and some explanations regarding the domain one. So let me share the screen first before going to the topic and giving them time to Mr. Zafar. So here, as you can see here, the section one is consisting on several domains, but the domain one is talking about computing systems and networks, and it has other descriptors. So let me read first before discussing with them, Mr. Zafar. Identifying computing systems, hardware and software and their interaction, and apply troubleshooting strategies on basic hardware and software. So today's lesson is about 1.1 computing systems and hardware. So let's see and discuss about these things. So we have some important questions regarding, Mr. Zafar. So my first question and first thing regarding, the theme of this, when you're computer science, what exactly means that the connection or relations between hardware and the software?
Well, I would just going to before going to dig into the computer system between the little hardware and the software part. Okay, I just want to go with a very small and a specific definition of the computer systems that will help our users to understand very well first what exactly the computer system is, and then when we are going to each and every points of the computer systems, what are the main components of that. Okay, that will really help our users to understand that. So I'm sorry for that. Okay, and just instead of going to take the first question in a broader sense, let's just go with the definition and for the computer system, and then I'll just explain I'll come back to your question, sir. Okay. So basically, a computer system refers to a collection of interconnected devices, or you can say interconnected components that work together to perform a specific task and process data. Actually, it typically consists of hardware, software, data, users, and the users' interaction with the computer systems. So this is making the whole computer systems. Actually, we can say that it's a hardware, it's a software, but hardware and software are the two important things for the computer system to work on. But the next two important or three important components of the computer system is the data, which the system is going to process, and data cannot be processed without the interaction of the user. So that's the whole a lot actually about the computer systems actually. Now, a computer system can be from can be a personal computer, it can be your laptop, it can be your PC, or it can be a more complex computer system actually, which is you could say a server on the network actually. So that's the typical definition of the computer systems actually. We will be coming down into the components of the computer systems, but I would like Mr. Abdul Hafur to just reinitiate the question, and then I'm just going to discuss it more further actually.
Okay. Now, thank you for giving answer. Regarding, the computer system. Now, the computer system, as a teachers, when they are appearing in exams, okay, definitely they are facing the various type of the questions. Okay, the teachers or any examiners, they are asking about, that that computer system is just a kind of, the what exactly we see in front of us, we devices, okay, or it has, the other parts or elements or components of it. If it is a, then what is the function and what is the connectivity of all these devices in?
Okay, so let's take it and let's say, let me just give you an example actually. For example, uh, let's say a car, the car body, the car parts, which are the tangible parts which can be touched. Okay, that is the hardware of the car actually. So in the same way, we have a hardware parts of the computer system actually. Now, when it comes to the software, okay, so and the user's interaction, okay, let's say the driver is the user of the computer system, user of that car actually, and the behavior which the driver is doing actually. For example, let's take that behaviors, okay, that the driver is interacting with the hardware of the car, okay. So the interaction between the driver and the car, that layer is called the software system. Okay, so I can say that the Windows operating system is the software of the computer system actually. Now there are three different types of the softwares. One is called the system software, the second one is called the application software, and the third one is called the utility software. Now, without the software, a computer is a dead machine. It does nothing actually. It does nothing. The only thing which makes the computer bringing into a living system is because of the software actually.
Okay.
If it is just a circuit, it doesn't do anything actually. Okay, so the software is driving the computer hardware. So there are three types of softwares. One is the system software, which we call our Windows or system software actually.
Okay.
Now the next one is the application software. What are the application softwares in our system? It's just the normal. This right now we are on a Zoom. It's an application, and that's the application software. If you are using the Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, any type of softwares which you are using, when you download something, or you install it in your computer, you're using it, whether it's a graphic software, whether it's even an Internet Explorer or Edge or Firefox or Safari. These are all the application softwares. There is a third component, okay, or you can say third types of a software is called the utility software. Now, what a utility software is, for example, I'm just giving you a very straight and very simple examples. Let's say you have you get to the just for example, you just started thinking that I need to print my documents, okay, instead of going to the shop from outside and get it printed, okay. You thought that you have enough money, you can get a printer from the shop, okay. You brought that printer with you, along with you, okay. You get it from the shop, you connect it to the computer system. Now, it's the moment you connect the printer to the computer through the wires or wireless, okay, still you need a one step behind actually. It doesn't work between each other actually. Why? There should be some communication of that external peripherals. So I have used the word peripherals. Okay, that peripherals means that uh, the the external components or the external hardware which are attaching it to the computer system. Okay, that is called the peripheral devices. Now that peripheral device, okay, you need a communication system between the your PC, your computer, and the hardware of that external peripheral actually. So for that, you are using the utility softwares. Okay, what you need to do actually, you need to download the driver, the accurate driver for that particular hardware to have an interface with the computer system to communicate with each other. So that's the you that is called utility softwares actually. So you got the printer. In the same way, if you are going to connect your web camera, you need a utility software. If you need to connect the joystick, that is also another hardware. You have to have the utility software to have an interface with your computer systems and to start working all the peripheral devices with your computer.
Great. I was exploring earlier that I found that there are the five main components of the hardware, and I'm not a subject specialist, okay, but I need to discuss with you and get answer of, about that. That Google said that they are the five, that the main component in which the storage, input, processing, communication skills, and output. So how you gonna take it, as an hardware? Can you
Okay.
elaborate?
I think I just when I have started in the with my definition of the computer systems. So I have mentioned that the hardware, software, data, users, and the networks. These are the five components of the computer systems actually.
Mhm.
Okay, so the input devices, output devices, uh, input devices, output devices, these are part of the hardware actually. So let's say if you have an input device which is called the keyboard, mouse, joysticks, these are the input devices. uh, you have the output devices, that is the monitor, printer, speaker, uh, um, and even though let me just, there is another kind of a of hardware which is at the same time it is an input device and at the same time it is an output device, and that is called the touch screen actually. So you touch, okay, you're using your touch, okay, so that means you're inputting to that hardware, and at the same time it gives you an output as well. So that is a touch screen, the input and output device at the same time. And then there are some networks equipments actually. So when we are talking about the network equipments, okay, and when we are going further with our scope, with our this series of courses of different video sections, okay, we will be discussing all a lot about the network components and what are the different components of that. So those components also is part of the hardware actually. Now again, that is one part of that component. Another part is that software component. As I have mentioned, application softwares, uh, utility software, system softwares. So system software is your operating system. It's right now I'm using Windows 11. You might be using the Windows 10, 7, 8. In the past, we were having Windows XP, Windows 95, Windows 98. So these are the operating systems, okay? And then we have the utility software. Now, the third component is the data actually. So the main purpose of the computer system is to process the data and to give it to convert it into the into a meaningful information actually, which is called the information actually. Okay, so
Okay.
the computer, any raw facts and figures which is processed through the input devices, the system process that data, the computer system internal system, which is called the central processing unit. Okay, CPU does the processing. There is some kind of a storage if it is required. Okay, we will go into deep into the memory and the storage also. Okay, and that's just the very top layers of the input, process, and the data part actually. So inputting the data, process the data, and it gives you the information in the form of through the help of output devices. Then
Okay.
the user is the one which is interacting the system, and the last component is the network, which we will have a we will have a an extensive definition of the networks.
As you have mentioned, one of the hardware as a keyboard, and I found through the study guide that that's some one of the major component for the teachers, and some sample question has been given from that one. I can see right now here there are various keys in front of me. So
Right.
let me that simplify that. Uh, I found that there's the alpha and numeric key, there's the function keys, there are cursor keys, there's the numeric keys. So as a subject specialist or a scholar, how you gonna segregate this information for the teachers, that what are the major keys, as well as how to identify when they face these type of the questions.
If you're in front of a computer, actually, you see the keyboard. The keyboard is around the on your keyboard. There is around 102 and 101 or 101. It depends actually. Now the recently new keyboard, they may have a more number of keys because of the gamings, which they keep in mind in the kids actually. But the standard keyboard it comes with the 102 keys actually. Now the 102 keys are divided into different sections actually. So there are alphabetic keys. There is a numeric keyboard or numeric pad. There is a functional keys, which is right there on the F1, F2, and it has its own functions. And there are some, and then there are numeric keys as well. Okay, and on the other hand, okay, there are some control keys actually. So some keys are works with the combination of the other keys actually. For example, let's say I'm saying that the control, shift, and alt key. These are if you see this one on your left bottom or the right bottom of your keyboard. If I'm talking about the standard keyboard actually, even though if you are in front of the laptop, okay, you will find the same shift, control, and alt key. Okay, that is there, and it doesn't work alone separately actually. If you press the control key, it doesn't work anything. Nothing will come out from it actually. If you have a shift key, if you keep pressing on it, okay, nothing will come out from it. So all these three keys, okay, it works with the combination of the other keys actually, and each and every key has its own function. For example, you are in the Microsoft Word, you just press Control S, and that will save your document. If you'll press Control O, that will make your document open actually. For example, if you just highlighting something on your Microsoft Word document, you press Control A, and that will highlight the whole text for you actually. In the same way, if you are going to type something on the keyboard, and in case you are going to make the first letter of the sentence capitalize, you use the shift key, and that the letter which the sentence which is start with that particular letter, okay, you want to capitalize that, so you can hold down the shift key, and then you can hit the correct key actually. Other than that, you have a cap lock key. You can, if you want to your whole text to be capitalized, okay, you can just press down the cap lock key, and the whole text will be capitalized for you. So functional keys, and the last part, the functional keys actually. Sorry. So the functional keys are the one which perform a particular function actually. So for example, if it is a F1 key, so normally when you press the F1 key, you get a help for any particular active window. If you are right now, I'm in front of a Zoom actually. The moment I press F1, okay, it will open the help section for me. For the Zoom, okay.
Great.
In the same way,
please.
Yeah, in the same way, what I'm saying is that in the same way, there are other functional keys also. For example, F2, okay. So with F2, you can rename a document. You can rename a file, actually. You can rename a folder. So each and every key has its own purpose to serve. And definitely, we may have a particular session on the keyboard, how it functions, actually.
Great. As you were mentioned regarding the operating system, can you, briefly tell what if, you are going to upgrade the system? Suppose, you have a window of 2007, okay, but your hardware is not supporting to them. So what do you think, that what kind of the modifications exactly the system need in order to run smoothly? Do they have a connection of, hardware and software in order to, the capacity, storage,
Definitely.
whatever, okay?
Definitely. It's a very good question, and I would like to answer for this as well. Uh, uh, I remember when I started my degree in computer science, actually, um, uh, that was around 1998, and that was the 2000 year 2000, actually. And I was going through the books, actually, and it was mentioned there that the hardware cost was a lot, actually, at that time, or the time before that, actually, like when, since the computer started, since the evolution of the computer started, the hardware cost was more, actually, because it was too expensive, and not only expensive, but even people, they were working inside the computer system, inside the computer, actually. And we don't want to just go right now into much details on that, actually. But right now, after gradually the software costs becomes more, and the hardware cost is now, it's very little, but very cheap, actually. Okay, you can get a software with a higher price. You can get the same hardware which you were getting it 10, 15 years before. Um, it is much faster right now, much cheaper than before, and much even compact, actually, in the other sense, actually. The question was that while upgrading your your computer to a higher operating system, uh, do you need to have uh, the specific hardware for that or not? Yes. The question is yes. The answer is yes also. Okay. The answer is yes. I You should have uh, a specific hardware for a particular kind of a software. And whenever a software is released, whether it's an operating system or whether it's an application software, it comes with uh, a recommendation from the developer's end. If the operating system is from the Microsoft is one of the company which builds the system software and the application softwares. There are other companies which builds the operating systems and the application softwares. So when I'm naming the operating system, so Microsoft started. Uh, uh, if I'm starting with a GUI based operating system, so my Microsoft started Windows 95. Then after that, 98 comes. Then there was Windows 2000, Windows XP, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows 11. Right now we are using in Windows 11, actually. So all these versions are from the Microsoft, and I would say that for example, if I'm going to run Windows 11 with my 5 years or 10 years old computer, definitely I would not get this in the same output from my system. Somehow, for example, you have upgraded your computer system. You put more RAM into this, okay, random access memory. You put more storage into that, but still you can't change the overall hardware. You have to have a recommended hardware, okay, to run the operating system on it.
My last question, what you gonna recommend it the subject teachers, who will be appearing in upcoming tests, that what the list of the hardware, functions of the keys, what software do you recommend that they should memorize for the exam from this domain?
Well, if a teacher is coming from a computer science background, so he doesn't need to have a, a thorough studies of the this this teacher licensing course actually. Um, Definitely, the computer system, the computer teacher who have studied computer, okay, they are the one going to appear in the teacher licensing actually, and they are the one going to answer actually. And I'm sure the teacher who is going to appear in the teacher licensing, he or she should have a bachelor's degree or master's degree in computer science actually. I don't think so that it needs a thorough studies or memorization. Actually, it's just a refreshing their concepts, and that's why we are here.
Right.
So we are going to give them a comprehensive series of this teacher licensing subject specialization course, and I'm sure that after going through all our video sections, they will be in a position to successfully pass the subject course actually,
And
subject specialization of the teacher licensing system.
inshallah. Thank you so much, Mr. Zafar. Thank you, being with us, and we'll be continue providing, the support to the teachers. Okay, so today this was the one, the first video about the computer specializations about the domain which I have shared. Okay, and you know very well that what Mr. Zafar highlighted: software, hardware, keyword, functions, and major components also. If you're gonna watch this complete video on the listing what exactly the component has been discussed in this video, I'm sure then what other supports we can provide you. We can provide you the sample question as well as we can prepare the materials for you, and we can arrange the one-to-one classes, okay, with Mr. Zafar that you can take in. That will be, we have that the WhatsApp number in given the community chat. If you need further help and assistance, you can drop the comment box. We'll be meeting in the next lesson. Till that, thank you so much once again. Thank you, Mr. Zafar. We'll be meeting in the next lesson.
Thank you so much, sir.
Stay
Thank
blessed.
you, Mr.
Yes.
Sir.
Have a nice day. Stay blessed and keep watching and subscribe. Keep pedagogy teaching alive.